Recently, I was banned from using the live video feature on TikTok. What I learned from it and how it could benefit you when it comes to your visibility here on social media. Let's get into it on Visibility is Power TV. Thank you for subscribing to Visibility is Power TV. I'm Rashonda Pratt, known in the digital streets as The Rose Show Live. I'm a video visibility coach and producer, helping people just like you to be seen, heard, and paid with video because your visibility is power. I'm excited today to talk to you about a not so exciting topic: being banned on social media. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever lost certain features, or as they like to say, end up in Facebook jail or Instagram jail? Well, it's never happened to me in my more than 6 years of being in the online space until I went to TikTok. So here's how this whole thing went down. So TikTok gives you the capabilities of going live once you have 1,000 followers. And that was my number one goal when it came to being on the platform and utilizing TikTok. I wanted to reach that 1,000 marker so that way I could be able to go live, because visibility is power. And one of my power strengths is being on live video. Well, once I was able to get those capabilities, I started using live video and really started to build a community, a connection. In fact, in just less than a year of being on the platform, I have been on 2 virtual summits in the UK. I have been invited to podcasts, and the opportunities have been endless. So TikTok has really been a game changer for me. Well, I decided for the month of March, Women's History Month, that I would take the entire month and utilize the live video feature. I decided that I would go live every single day except weekends, because weekends belong to my husband and Jesus. But I decided that I would go live every day, Monday through Friday, talking to people about how to use live video and really just how to step up their visibility. Well, I missed a Friday and I decided to go live on a Saturday night, right? That's probably was my first sign. I was breaking one of my own rules, but I digress. So I decided to go live this Saturday, and I want to talk about the power of a decision. And it was really impactful. It was really great content. And it was talking to women, because that's the people that I'm called to serve, talking to women about making a decision as it concerns their visibility. That if you really want to leverage your visibility, if you want to make impact, influence, and income, you really have to show up. And showing up starts with making a decision. It was really good content, by the way. It was 21 minutes of solid content. Well, while I was delivering what I thought was really great content, we had about 2 to 3 guys, trolls, who came into the comment section to really disturb the piece. So they were making sexist and misogynistic and all of the kinds of comments as you could imagine in the comment section. By the way, trolls don't scare me and I don't give them my attention. So I was ignoring them, but a lot of the people who are in my audience were responding to them, trying to get them to leave. And there was a particular lady there who was asking a question, and she was asking a question and in the terms of her being an introvert. As an introvert, how can she show up with her visibility? How can she step into really being seen and heard? And it was a really great question. And I was answering her question. And while I was doing that, one of the trolls requested to go live with me. So they could request to join your live video. Well, one of my rules, especially if it's late at night, which this was after 8 o'clock, I don't let strangers, particularly men, into my live videos. I'll just let you figure out my reasons why. Anyway, I declined. And next thing you know, as I'm answering this lady's question, my live video stops and a note comes up from TikTok saying that your video has been flagged for hateful behavior. Hateful behavior. I've never in a million years have been flagged for hateful behavior. Hateful behavior. How is it telling women how to show up in their genius, in their brilliance, to really make impact in their life. How is that hateful, especially during Women's History Month? Yeah, think about that. Well, what happened from that, and TikTok flags hateful behavior, in case you wanted to know, as behavior that is hateful towards gender, sexual orientation, race, religious groups, all the things, and none of that I violated. So at this point, I could still create videos on TikTok, but I could not utilize the live video feature. It was suspended. So they asked me to submit if I felt that this was unfair, which it was. And I hit the submit button. And I hit the submit button. I couldn't even explain or ask questions. It just goes somewhere in the excuse me, not Twitter, in the TikTok space, and hopefully someone will answer. Within 24 to 48 hours, my video was reviewed. By the way, I couldn't even download that video. They totally had access to that. So that's 21 minutes of really great content, totally lost. And they reviewed my video and they deemed that it was, in fact, hateful behavior. What? Now, I have since learned that these are probably not real people. These are probably bots and all these other things. I've also learned that during Women's History Month that there was a lot of other women, women of color, and non-women of color, but particularly women of color whose content is being flagged on the platform. I couldn't believe it. And there was no way for me to dispute it. After 24 to 48 hours, I got a response that they reviewed my video. It was, according to them, deemed as hateful behavior. And they were not going to allow me access to live video anymore. What? I couldn't believe it. I said, wait, are you kidding me? Access gone, access denied. I can still create videos. That's about it. Now, there is a little button or a little note on my account where I'm trying to go live that says you are suspended until a certain date. We'll see if I get the live video access. But it had me start thinking about you all and when it comes to visibility. Now, has this situation been frustrating? Yes. But there's been some beautiful things that have come out of it that I want to share with you today when it comes to you taking a stand and standing in your visibility. See, me being shut down by trolls, because that's what I believe it was, that they didn't like the fact of what I was saying. They didn't like the fact that I wasn't giving them attention, and they did not like the fact that I did not allow them into my live video space. So they wanted to punish me. And what I understand about you understanding your visibility and stepping into that is when you decide to give yourself permission, there are going to be people who don't like that. There are going to be some people that are just not going to like the fact that you gave yourself permission, and they're going to try to silence you. It's the truth. There are going to be people who are going to be intimidated, offended. They're going to dislike the fact that you decided to show up. And you know why? Here's 4 reasons why. They dislike the fact that you're showing up. They're offended by the audacity you have to show up. And some of them are just intimidated by your visibility. Number one, they are intimidated, offended, or dislike your visibility because number one, you take away the excuse that it can't be done. See, stories give permission, ladies and gentlemen. And when you step into your visibility, you show everyone else, oh no, wait a second. I thought this couldn't be done. But Rashonda, you watching this just proved that it can be done. So you take away their excuse that, oh, no one can do that. That's impossible. You take away their excuse. And taking away their excuse now causes them to look at themselves who may have been making excuses in their own life and say, well, wait a second. If Rashonda can do it, then I can do it too. Number two, they're afraid that your visibility, especially if you're in close relationship with them, they're afraid that your visibility will cause you to change. And they look at that change sometimes as a bad thing instead of looking at it as a good thing. Your visibility is power. And the beautiful thing about visibility is when you step into your visibility, when you step into your own story, your visibility in your story gives others permission. But if they don't look at it like that, as giving them permission to step into their own, they'll look at your change as being a bad thing. So they're afraid of change. Number 3, jealousy. Shall I go on? They're jealous that it's working for you. They're jealous that you have found your voice and maybe they haven't found theirs. They're jealous. And number 4, or they're just not your audience. See those guys that were in my live video? I knew they weren't my audience. They weren't my people. And I've had several people who watch me on TikTok live who are guys who said, "Man, this is a great message. Oh, I'm taking away nuggets. This is amazing." But we also have to recognize you're not for everyone. And guess what, my friend? That is a-okay, that you are not for everyone. And we have to be okay with that. Be okay with not being okay with everyone, right? You want to be in front of the people who want to do life and business with you, who gel with your message that you get in, you're speaking their love language. You want to be in front of those people. You don't want to be with people who they don't get what you're saying. They don't get what you're about. And that's important as well. So 4 things that I learned from this, okay, that I want you to take away is, listen, you take away people's excuse that it can't be done when you start to show up. Number 2, they're afraid of your visibility, afraid that you're going to change. 3, jealousy. 4, they're not even your ideal audience. They're not even your people. And that's great as well. So, what must you do? How do you deal with those 4 things that I just shared with you? Okay, number 1, you have to remain committed and consistent. When you decide to show up and you take away their excuse of showing up, you have to remain committed and consistent. Committed to your visibility and consistent in doing it. Committed to showing up and developing a level of what? Consistency. Number 2, dedicate yourself to continue to grow in your visibility. Continue to grow in your message. Ladies and gentlemen, the message that God gave me about visibility is power when I first started doing this has continued to grow over the years. Guess what? As I have grown, as I've worked with more clients, as I've encountered visibility things, it has continued to grow and evolve. And you have to understand that as it pertains to your message and your visibility. You have to commit to being committed, consistent, and continue to grow. 3, focus on who's there and who's not. That's been a game changer for me. Stop focusing on who doesn't support you and focus on the people who do. Stop talking about your cousin who won't buy your product and think about the people who did buy your product and did support you. Focus on what you do have and not focus on what you don't have. That's going to support your visibility. That's how you combat this whole attitude of jealousy. And number 4, be comfortable that you are not for everyone. Remember, I talked about that they may not be your audience, right? So now you have to be comfortable and become comfortable with the fact that they are not your people. There are people who are called to your sound. There are people who want to do life and business and all the things with you, but you have to be okay with the fact that these may not be your people, and that's okay. All right. So I was asked recently about this whole debacle with TikTok. Will I still post videos on TikTok? Yeah, I'll still post videos, right? One monkey doesn't stop the show, literally. So I may not be able to do live videos, but I am still going to post content and things like that over there, video, because why? I've developed a community over there. One of the beautiful things that's come out of it, along the things that I just shared with you, is the fact that I have a community of people who are rallying behind me, people who tagged other influencers and people with bigger accounts to tell them what was going on with me. They've been tagging TikTok and all of the arms of TikTok and telling them they're outraged by this. People have duetted my video to remind TikTok that, hey, you silenced this woman and it's not cool. I've discovered that in a short period of time, in less than a year, I've created a community of people over there who are really concerned about what's happening with me. That's amazing. So, yes, I'm going to continue to post on TikTok and continue to nurture my community. But it's also reminded me, a lot of the things that I just already shared with you, is also reminded me of this, that these platforms that we're on do not belong to us. We are renters, and these platforms are the landlords, right? And so we have to take people to the communities that we own. What is it that you own? Your email list, your text community, your website. We have to move our community to those things that we own. That way we can still be in contact and connected to our community. It's also reminded me that this work that I do in working with women in their visibility, helping them understand that their visibility is power, is that we all have a responsibility to continue to amplify the voices of female creators. So if you like this video, listen, share it out to your community. Tag a couple people in this video. If you like any content, not just me, but any female creator that you engage with their content, and you're like, man, this is amazing, amplify them. Not just doing Women's History Month, but 365 every single day of the year. Share out their information, tag, post, or just send them a DM. Nothing creepy or weird, but a DM just to say, listen, this is amazing work that you're doing, and I'm glad to be a part of it with you. Now, while I may not be able to go live on TikTok, you know what? I can still engage with my community there, and I'm grateful for that. It's an unfortunate obstacle that all of us have the opportunity to really be exposed to, right? But it's also just reminded me of my mission and why we have Visibility is Power TV. I'm even more committed in helping women just like you really learn how to leverage their visibility, how to leverage the power of their voice. As I tell my clients all the time, and I'm sharing with you today, silence is not golden, and you no longer have the right to remain silent. There are people who are attached to your sound. There are people who are waiting on your voice. And I want to challenge you not to let anyone or anything put you in a vow of silence. Your visibility is power. And guess what? More than ever, we need your voice. So I'm adding my voice to the space, and I hope that you will join me. I'm Rashonda Pratt, known in the digital streets as The Rose Show Live, video visibility coach and producer, helping you to be seen, heard, and paid because your visibility is power. If you want to know any more of the resources and ways that you can connect with me, all of those things are right below this video. Remember, continue shining your light. Your visibility is power, my friend, and there are people who are waiting on your sound. It's time to release it.